Welcome in. Ooh, welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the contents on this teeny tiny little small channel, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, and click the bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live nearly each and every single weekday. Guys, for those of you who have been following me for a while, I believe you know this, but I've been in this market for a long time. And $100,000 was always this psychological level that was talked about, right? And back in 2021, I've shared with you, I'm about as transparent as it gets from a content creator standpoint. I was fooled. I was fooled by that expanded flat correction and the fact that we peaked our nose up towards $70,000, but we didn't go any higher than 69, right? And I thought in 2021 we were going to that $100,000 plus price target. I think I was targeting like 120 or something like that. And here we are 3 years later, and we arrived. We made it. 3 years really isn't that long a period of time. And Bitcoin has reached a level that, quite frankly, is really amazing. It really is. Putting all kidding aside, it's quite astonishing to think. It honestly gives me chills. When I first got into this market, I remember buying Bitcoin at 32.23. That's the number that sticks out to me. Or that was the low on Bitcoin, but I remember buying 32, 33, 34, 3,500. And, I remember all these distinct points in time where I was at when Bitcoin started running up towards 10 or 5 or even 20. And it is crazy for someone who's been here for a while to see what's going on right now. So, before we even get into the charts, I want to talk about realistically what I'm expecting to ensue next year based on the current response within the market right now. Now, as you're fully aware, I am a firm believer, based on the name of the live stream, it is all in the charts. And I think it would behoove you to really keep that in mind moving forward. That there will always be a news narrative to follow the chart, but the chart is going to be our ultimate indicator of telling us with not certainty, but likelihood what we can expect moving forward. We need to rely on the data, guys. You don't need to be a data analytics person. You just have to respect the data. The reason I love math, the reason I love data is because it's factual. You can't argue with it. 2 plus 2 is 4, guys. All right? Maybe in some other alternate universe, whoever the hell that guy was that got interviewed on Joe Rogan wants to argue 2 plus 2 isn't 4. But in reality, 2 plus 2 is 4. So, there's a couple thoughts that I had pertaining to the current action within the market that we're seeing that I want to share with you before we get into the charts. First off, Bitcoin has exceeded my expectations year to date. I did not think we were going to go past $100,000 until early first quarter of next year, possibly January, right? I said January, maybe even February. We hit 103 whatever, okay, earlier today. So we've certainly exceeded my expectations. Now, I think based on that, what that has led me to start to go down a path of theorizing is because, remember, I've been saying this for a while now, Bitcoin's going to be the driver of value. If you want your altcoins to go super duper high, you want Bitcoin to overwhelm, not underwhelm. Remember, we talked about scenarios where Bitcoin wouldn't even hit $100,000 and it might top out in the $90,000 range. We've exceeded that. Okay, we're nowhere near an impulsive top. None of the impulsive top indicators have flashed, okay? So we're entering territory that's beginning to exceed my expectations. And where that's leading me to is to theorize that it is quite possible Bitcoin's blow off top could exceed my expectations. Now, I've given my top range at 150. I talked about 150 being the Pico highest price I could reasonably see it going. However, I've seen some other price targets floating around in the 180, 170 range that aren't really out of the realm of possibility. I think the thing we need to do is we need to, again, stay grounded on the data. You can't feed into this time being different. This is a new paradigm. This is a super cycle. There's institutional investment. If you feed into that, I'm going to promise you something. If you feed into those narratives, what will happen is you will make emotional decisions with your investments, and you're going to lose out, right? So we don't want to be over conservative, and we also don't want to be over aggressive and wait for certain dollar price targets and things that are just way too lofty of expectations. We on this channel, okay, my own sell strategy that I'm selling with you, we are going to rely on those topping indicators to tell us when the market is topping. Now, if I had to take an educated guess based on what I'm seeing in the market right now, I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin top off sometime around March or April in the 120, 130 range. Cool off for a bit. We know that second and third quarter, in particular the third quarter, tends to be a little bit more bearish. And then in the fourth quarter, we get that last rise, that last hoorah for altcoins and Bitcoin, where Bitcoin really could start to approach values upwards towards $200,000. I think that's not out of the realm of possibilities at this point. But we on this channel know, and based on what I just shared with you, it doesn't matter if Bitcoin has a blow-off top in the first half of next year or the second half of next year. It doesn't matter if Bitcoin hits a top of 120 or 220. It doesn't matter, because what we're going to rely on is historical data to tell us things are at that point or very close to it, and you should start scaling out of your Bitcoin and then your altcoins shortly thereafter, okay? But I will say, this market, with where things are at right now, it's giving me cautiously a high degree of confidence that things are going to go a lot higher than most people are expecting. Really, a lot higher. Keep in mind, we're going to begin looking at the charts here. Altcoins, many of them haven't even really begun to move yet. Yeah, you have certain coins that have been firing off, XRP, HBAR, XLM, Algorand. You have all these Dino coins popping off, right? There are rotations taking place, and we'll talk about that. But the true euphoria in this market has not taken place yet. It has not, okay? And I'll address why I feel confident with that statement. Todd, thank you for the super chat. Super chats are never expected, but always appreciated, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, you know what? I'll take a couple TA requests. I mean, I haven't been on this live stream forever. We'll see how long things go. Steady, welcome in. You damn right we hit $100,000. Now, we are cooling off here a bit. We hit a high of today, 103,647, at least on Bitstamp, and we're cooling off here. On the daily, we don't want to see, I mean, ideally, we don't want this thing to go red. That would be a gravestone doji. That wouldn't be good. That would be a clear sign of a trend reversal to the downside. So we want this to kind of hold up here. We'll have to see how the day closes out, but I'd really like to see us close right up towards 101, 100,000 plus, maybe 101 by the end of the day. So we'll just have to be patient and see what the charts continue to tell us. You know, it's interesting. If you guys are following my content, I haven't been as active on X. I know I've been out of commission between traveling and I got sick, and I'm still kind of getting over that. I haven't been as active on X, but one of the things that I have spoken to on X pretty frequently, and I've shared on this live stream, is it's interesting to see some of the same mistakes being made now that were made 4 years ago. Meaning, people are so hyper-focused on wanting to be correct, of saying we topped here and now we're coming all the way down here. Everyone wants to be correct about this rather than just allowing the trend to be your friend, right? And everyone is being proven wrong, right? I've seen these deep correction levels that are getting stated on X. And I'll continue to say this. I think you're a fool if you're shorting this market. You're an absolute, it's going to be a shit show for you if you attempt to short this market. these are not the market conditions to be shorting. This is the market to identify long positions and be long and strong. This is that brief period of time, guys. We've talked about a Pareto distribution, okay? We've talked about such a short period of time, guys, and we're entering that short period of time where you're going to experience epic gains. And if you haven't been here before, buckle the fuck up, because it's going to exceed your expectations. And so we need to really ride that trend and identify when it's smart to begin selling, but we're definitely not there yet. Let's take a look at how we closed out on the monthly. Of course, since I've been out, hard to believe I've been out for 2 weeks now. I hate taking off that long. Let's take a look at this chart, because there's a couple things I can talk to on this chart. Let's get off the moving averages here. So this is the why is this on a 12-hour? Wow. This is the monthly chart. I don't know why this is on a 12-hour. This is on the monthly chart. Rashid, welcome in, my friend. And what you can see here is, we've had a clear, one of the things we pointed out on this channel is all that's playing out in the chart is what the chart told us was most probable, right? All the meanwhile, I just want to refresh everyone's memory if you guys were here. Everybody was so fucking salty during this period of time, right? Oh, Bitcoin's not doing anything. Bitcoin's not doing anything. Where if you actually knew how to read a chart and you zoomed out, you would say, oh, wow, we're in a bull flag. And that's what's playing out right now. Keep in mind the technical target, it depends how you draw it. We don't have to get exact. I mean, the technical target is much, much higher than from where we're at. It is actually up towards 180. So, yeah, so the chart is essentially just doing what the chart told us was most likely, right? That's all that's occurring in the data here. If we look at this topping signal indicator, I want to take a look at this. We're not even going to take a look at any other indicators. Let's just take a look at the topping signal indicator. One of the things that I spoke to in the video to assess when it's likely that Bitcoin is at or near a topping zone was this. You see this descending resistance on the RSI and also the red areas we tend to touch up towards 91 to 96. I've identified this zone, depending when we top, as the likely topping zone on the monthly chart for the RSI. And I'm kind of showing you what I expect in relative expectations. If we really do get a blow off top by the end of next year, and it's not, March, April of this coming year, then you can expect sort of a double top scenario, just like we saw back in 2017. So I'm showing that we could get this thing flashing to sell sometime, towards April or even May. And then just, this is what you would expect afterwards. So, but you can see based on how I have this drawn, look how much further we have to go up before we get anywhere near being overheated. We have so much further to run, guys. That's why I'm saying it's one thing, okay? It's one thing to look at the market and emotionally say, wow, I can't believe what's going on. Bitcoin's at $100,000. $1 million Bitcoin doesn't really look that far away. Like, it's pretty, your emotions can get the best of you. Versus, if you actually evaluate the data and you see what's going on with the price action, you say, yeah, I mean, things are very bullish, but, from a historical context, we're not overheated. We're not overheated. And in fact, there's plenty of room to the upside here. So things are looking very, 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 very good. Something else I wanted to take a look at, which I haven't taken a look at with you guys in a while. This was this custom view I created with the 150 simple moving average. You can see it hasn't failed us yet. Every time we've broken it back above this thing and remained above it, we've gone a hell of a lot higher. Of course, I projected out here based on the prior two iterations here an average return that we can expect once we broke here. It's just another data point to assess a reasonable potential top. Puts us up at 130, so we'll have to see how close we get to that. Something else that I think would be important to take a look at with you guys, since we haven't, again, been here for a while. This is one of the more important charts that we're going to cover. Pretty obvious that we are finally beginning to break out of this rising wedge. Remember, for a long time, we've been talking about on this channel that we're in a bearish pattern on the Bitcoin dominance chart. It's a rising wedge. A rising wedge is a bearish formation within the chart, which has a much higher likelihood of breaking down. Now, in this case, it's bullish for altcoins because that means that your altcoins are stealing more market cap. They're growing at an exponentially higher rate than Bitcoin. So we're beginning to see a breakdown of this pattern here. This should come to no surprise to anyone watching and listening right now if you've been paying attention. This is exactly what we expected. Now, remember what I said. I said once I see a definitive break below 53, I think that's when you're going to start to really see things accelerate in the market. Right now, we're sitting at just shy of 56, so we still would have moved down another 3+% or 3%. But things are looking good here for alts. At the very least, depends how large the run is, right? Again, if Bitcoin exceeds, think about this for a moment. Let me ask you the question. It'll be a rhetorical question, but if Bitcoin exceeds our expectations, what would you theorize would happen to Bitcoin dominance? Now, your initial inclination might be to say, well, if Bitcoin exceeds our expectations, let's say it tops out at $180,000. Well, I would expect Bitcoin dominance to hold up really well. Incorrect. Think about the logic of this. If Bitcoin exceeds our expectation, there's more euphoria, there's more money, and there's more hopium within the space. And what that's going to do is that's going to prop up everything much higher, artificially higher than otherwise would have happened. And what that's going to lead to is a big collapse in Bitcoin dominance. So what I'm theorizing is if Bitcoin continues to exceed expectations, we're not just going to come down to this trend line here. We're going to break it and at least double tap 35 or create a new all-time low on Bitcoin dominance. That's how much further I believe we could fall in Bitcoin dominance. And for those who think that's unrealistic, you're listening to this right now, you're like, man, Bitcoin spent so much time up towards 60% dominance. It's at 55. CBG, you're smoking crack if you think this thing's going to 35% or below. If you don't think that's possible, look at the drop here. Bitcoin dominance was at 74%, and we dropped to 39.5%. So we had almost a 50% haircut. Here, Bitcoin dominance way back in the day was up towards 99%, and we dropped all the way to 35%. So again, if the run in the market is going to mirror something a little bit more reminiscent of 2017, which it appears to be, then you're not to the same degree because the market was more immature, but you're going to see a sharper decline similar to this than you did back in 2021. So it's going to be interesting to see just how low Bitcoin dominance goes. I've been one, if you've been following my content for a really long time, I was one that was theorizing, that has been theorizing for a while now, that Bitcoin dominance during the next blow-off top phase would come down and create new all-time lows in the mid 25%, 27% range. So we'll have to see how that pans out. Let's take a look at Caspa. I was going to take a look at this regardless, but I know Todd came in with a super chat question. DT, welcome in, sir. Good to see you on the live stream. Nothing really new with Caspa. I think we just need to be patient here. Again, this is where it's really helpful that if I didn't have a technical analysis background, I would be more frustrated than what I otherwise am with Caspa. I'm not frustrated. I'm patient because I know what I hold. Very simplistically stated, you have higher highs and higher lows. The consolidation that took place in here. Remember, we drew out this rectangle a while ago before we ever came down here. I drew out this rectangle when we were up here. And I said a healthy pullback would be somewhere in this area. And look where all the candle bodies closed within exactly the area. I haven't modified this except for how long it went out in time. So we're doing exactly what I expected. So there isn't anything concerning. Now, the reason I have 18 cents here, that's that magical level. It's the 18 to 19 cent range. Because once similar to Bitcoin, when we were tracking Bitcoin consolidation, we were talking about the higher highs and higher lows. we wanted to take out a swing high, right? This was the last major swing high here at 18 cents. And you can see 18 cents has given us some problems, right? Taking out 18 cents and holding it as support and then ultimately 19 cents, that's what's going to lead to a huge momentum shift in the chart, in my opinion. Also keep in mind, when you zoom out here and you're keeping perspective, okay? Keep in mind how immature the asset is and how well it performed back in 2023. So really it was launched in 22. But if we look at 2023, we went from 0.4 of a penny, okay, so let's just call it a half a cent, to the end of the year in 2023, we went up to basically 15 cents. So we essentially pulled like what, a 30x? We pulled like a 30x in 2023. And you have to also consider the fact that this is a fairly launched project. There was no ICO with this, okay? This thing was mined into existence, and it needs a network it needs network effects, much like Bitcoin, for it to work, which it has been. Now, since we had that meteoric rise going into the end of 2023, 24 has been nothing but sideways. And a lot of people are getting way too discouraged by this price action. And I don't mean this as any disrespect to anyone, I'm being blunt. For anyone who doesn't know technical analysis, okay, for anyone who doesn't study the charts, they're completely oblivious to the fact that this entire time period in here, which is a relatively tight consolidation range, we are forming a base. Typically on a chart, when you spend a long period of time establishing a base like this, unless you're in a bearish pattern like a descending triangle, much like Bitcoin had back in 2018, if you're establishing a base like this, right, what it tends to lead to is if you do indeed break to the upside, and I had a long thread on this. If you search my Twitter account, I posted on this. But if you have a long base like this, once we actually do break to the upside, if we break to the upside, it tends to be violent, explosive, and it also puts to rest this area here. In fact, I also theorized on X that it's quite possible that the cyclical bottom could be at 20 cents. And if the cyclical bottom in Caspa, I don't want to get too ahead of myself here, but if it's 20 cents, we can actually back into what a projected blow-off top in Caspa is, right? If we assume the Caspa, much like the rest of the market, is going to have a 95, 97% correction, because it will, it's not going to be immune to it, what we can do is we can take that 20 cents, just nice round figures here, we can divide it by that quantity of 1 minus the 95% correction, which is 0.05, and we can see that gives us a blow-off top of $4. If it had theoretically a 97% correction and it bottomed at 20 cents, you could take the 20 cents and just divide it by 0.03, which is 1 minus the 97%, and you come up with $6.67. So am I saying it's hitting between 4 and 6.67? No. But what I am saying is it's a logical way to approach a theoretical blow-off top if your premise is that this is a strong base that's being formed that isn't going to be breached again. Now, you can do the math again if you want to say, well, maybe we come down to 19 cents or 18 cents. We're splitting hairs. The point is I want to give you some sort of high-level observation in terms of how you can come up with some targets, because at the end of the day, keep in mind, once Caspa breaks 20 cents, what are we actually doing? Well, we're in uncharted territories. We're in a blue sky breakout, which is exciting, but it's anyone's educated guess how high the thing's going to go. No, in this market, and this is what some people who are newer to the market fail to realize. I know Jorge had commented on one of my posts, and he said something to the effect of, how could I expect Caspa is still going to pull like a 20x or 10x or 15x or whatever the case is, given that it had this monumental surge in value. Jorge, do you realize, you must not, do you realize how irrational this market can get, and how high these assets get propped up in value, and how overinflated they become in a true bubble? Given that you're not aware of that, based on your comment, you're about to find out. And by the way, I thought on today's live stream I would have seen Evan, I'm sure Evan is very excited about the price of XRP. So I figured I'd be seeing him on the live stream, but I have not seen him. So those are my comments on Caspa. Of course, if we take a look at the Caspa BTC relativity chart, not much has changed here. We've been consolidating. Interestingly enough, there are some people saying Caspa looks bad relative to the Bitcoin pairing, or it's bleeding against it. No, it's not. Actually, this was prior resistance, and we've now formed support on it. So as long as we don't start getting candle bodies breaking below here, we're completely fine. I'm expecting a break up. So we will have to see. We will have to see. But those are my comments on Caspa. Let's see who else we have in the live stream. Okay, so the question on Bitcoin dominance is, why do you not think the lower trend line wouldn't hold? Okay, so we're talking about this trend line here, and we'd go all the way to 35%, right? Because theoretically, if we bottomed in here on Bitcoin dominance around this time, it would only put it at about 43%. So you're talking about another 8% drop. Why would I think it would go to 35% or below, or DT? Very simply stated based on what I said earlier. Bitcoin has already begun to exceed my expectations. And so if Bitcoin is exceeding my expectations and we're going to get a really frothy market, there is going to be so much liquidity being injected into meme coins, layer ones, real world assets, AI. Everything is just going to get so goddamn overinflated that your altcoin, you are going to have a massive altcoin run next year. I believe, again, if the market continues staying as heated as it is, and it continues to look as bullish as it is, we are going to be, you and I are going to be having some interesting conversations in the March, April, May timeframe, because I think some of those conversations will be centered around, should you be taking profits? Even if the market, even if, for example, if 2 of the 6 topping indicators signal, it might still be wise to take some profits, because chances are we're going to have a deep correction before potentially going higher into the end of 2025. But I really think January through April, going into May, I think altcoins, it is going to be explosive. You're already noticing something else I wanted to mention on the live stream. Has anyone noticed the trend on coin listings, in particular at Coinbase? What has Coinbase been listing? GigaChad, Mog, some other fucking meme coin. They're listing meme coins. Why do you think Coinbase is listing meme coins? Well, Coinbase is a for-profit enterprise, right? Even if they weren't, they want to make a profit. What is the way that Coinbase is going to make a profit? They're going to make a profit. This is going to be very simplistically stated. They're going to make profit based on revenue being generated by people buying and selling. Okay, that's the easiest way to think about it, right? You're going to get fees. So wouldn't it make sense that you want more buy-sell activity on your platform so you can generate more revenue? Well, of course. Well, clearly Coinbase is seeing that there is a lot of attention and a lot of excitement around meme coins. That's why they're getting listed, guys. That's exactly why they're getting listed. Do I think fundamentally sound, strong community projects like Caspa will ultimately get listed on Coinbase? Yeah, of course. I just think we have to be patient. But I think Coinbase is giving further validation to 2 items I have spoken about on this live stream. Number 1, I've been telling you all year, literally all year, and it was a complete shift in mindset for me. You better have a percentage of your allocation in meme coins, because they seem to be the dominant narrative. They were the dominant narrative this year. There's no reason to believe it's going to be different next year. Just because you have a bunch of older coins pumping, things are going to rotate into other sectors, guys. That's how this whole game works, okay? You have a lot of whales inflating up the value of a lot of these assets and getting them to run very hard. that money, that liquidity is going to flow into other projects and other narratives and other tokens, okay? So clearly, if you had taken into account what I shared with you all year, and you have a positioning in some strong meme coins, at least one, your portfolio should outperform any portfolio that doesn't have that, okay? The second thing it validates that I spoke to is, gee, I wonder, now that there's a Trump administration coming in, they seem to be crypto friendly. Imagine this. This sounds crazy. The president's inviting Brian Armstrong in for conversations, and I know it sounds crazy. They actually want to talk to the guy. Remember Gary Gensler, knock on my door to register? That's what you have to do to register, but no one ever responds. No one ever is there to answer. Anyway, the whole point is, because things are becoming, from a regulatory standpoint, becoming more crypto friendly, I had theorized, hey, do we think this could accelerate the Coinbase listings? We're beginning to see that. I think there's a dual effect going on right now. Coinbase is smart and obviously knows the next year is going to be potentially insane. And they want to capture that. That, coupled with a more friendly regulatory environment, is going to lead to a massive acceleration of listings, guys. I think the rate of listings that you will see between now, that has just started, until early to mid next year will be the highest rate that we've seen. It's going to be incredible. There's going to be a ton of listings. Just wait. So it's really good to see that all taking place. And hopefully everyone here does have some sort of allocation dedicated to meme coins. Diced Pineapple. I don't know that I've seen you in the live stream before. Sorry, man. This congestion is awful. Evening, friend. Is still a 1-year accumulation range. If there was a macro distribution thing, I don't really understand. Is it still a 1-year accumulation range if there was a macro distribution? So this is a great question, because what I called out in the chart was this not being accumulation in nature, this actually being somewhat distributatory. Did I just make up a word? Being distributive. But for some reason you can't put volume on here. I don't know why, but the volume won't come up on the chart. I'm not sure why that is. But essentially what you want to look for in order to, I laid it out in that post. If you scroll my Twitter feed and you search hard enough, you'll see I put together a really long thread on Caspa. And in there I spoke to signs of accumulation and a reversal within a distributive pattern. That's what I believe we're beginning to see right here. Okay, you want to see some volume come in, a sharp rise in price, higher highs, higher lows. That's what we're seeing right now. Okay, so it suggests to me that the distributory phase that we were in, price is done consolidating in this range. It's sort of found its bearings, and now we're starting to pick up momentum back to the upside. That's what this chart is telling me. Now, we'll have to see if that continues to play out, but that's what again, Caspa is my largest holding. There's a reason for that. So I continue to remain very, 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 very confident. Let's take a look at Ethereum. You know, one of the things that I've spoken to, look at this. One of the things that I've spoken to, this is a little too noisy. I was playing around with this chart. One of the things that I've spoken to is that your altcoins are really going to start to pick up pace once you see Ethereum entering that 4,000 and really 5,000 plus territory. Again, I was here. I remember what it felt like in December of 20. It was a hell of a time. It was a hell of a time. And right now we're beginning to see momentum picking up on Ethereum. Now, the reason I have this gray line here, this gray line is at 3650, okay? 3650 was a key level for me to get above given the prior price action. And right now we're printing a candle above there. This is our confirming candlestick. So long as this week closes above the 3650 area, we are in good standings. And you can see right here, we're getting rejected essentially from this psychological level at $4,000. But momentum is picking up. Look at the RSI. The RSI is above this area I identified as being a key region to get above, between 55 and 58. We're all the way up at 64. MACD looks good. Stochastic RSI looks beautiful. Could we get a pullback here and continue up? You know, form this as support. Two things. One, it looks like we already did that. But two, again, don't get cute with the market. Just don't. If we go back, this is not the time to get cute with pullbacks. I keep saying the same thing over and over again, and no matter how many times I share this with you guys, whether it's on Twitter or YouTube, there are people relentlessly calling for these pullback levels that have not come and will not come. It's just, this was 2020, okay? Everyone was trying to call a pullback on Ethereum just like they were on Bitcoin. Look what happened. We literally just went in a straight line up. Why would you want to fuck around with this? You don't. You just want to ride it. You want to ride the trend. Guys, we did all this hard work, right? Hard work by staying vested in the market. We invested at times when no one thought it was smart. It was doom and gloom. It was boring. I told you guys for the longest of time, as a content, and I understand I have a small channel, but as a content creator coming out here during moments when all this is going on and this is going on and this is going, it's just boring ass price action, especially for a market that is extremely impatient. It was not easy coming out here as a content creator. Not easy one bit. And now we are finally at the moment where we should see cataclysmic price action to the upside. And people want to fuck around with 5, 10, 15% pullbacks. Christ, you're going to lose out if you do that. Please, it's mind-numbing to me. Please don't do it. Please, never financial advice on this channel. If you're in the market, ride things until things become way too overheated. Don't fuck around with 10% pullbacks and trade in and out of positions. You will lose Satoshis. You will lose value. Again, this is coming from someone who has made plenty of mistakes in the past, and I'm not doing it again, okay? I've changed my outlook and approach on investing based on things I have learned from the past, many of which I try to share with you. Don't over-rotate. Don't think you're going to outsmart the market. The market will hand your ass, it will smack you upside the head if you think that way. Ethereum is on the precipice. Look at this. Double tap, another tap. We have tapped $4,000 on 5 weekly candles. Guys, what is one of the most basic things that I tell you on TA? The more we interact with an area of price confluence, the more it weakens. In this case, we're talking about resistance, okay? And this should be green. In this case, we're talking about resistance. The next time, I'm going to make a prediction, okay? I'll make a prediction. The next time you see Ethereum up towards $39.50, we're breaking $4,000, okay? So you heard it here first. The next time you see Ethereum up towards this red line, which is $39.50, we're not coming up here and dipping our little head above here at $4,050 and then rolling over. The next time you see Ethereum at $39.50, we are going to start ripping past $4,000. Remember me saying this, okay? It could happen as early as this week. It could happen as early as next week. I don't know, but I'm planning on riding this motherfucker. It's like a magic carpet ride, and I hope you're going to come along for the journey as well. So I don't know what else to tell you. Let's take a look at Solana. It's okay. As much as we have to control our emotions when making buy and sell decisions, it's okay to express excitement. It's okay to get excited by the price action. You should be. I mean, Christ, I created videos on Solana when everyone thought Solana was dead, right? I don't know when I created the Solana videos, somewhere in here or somewhere in here. And you know, I spoke to the chart. Maybe it was in here. I don't know. I have to go back. And I basically said the chart looks beautiful, right? We rode this thing we've been here live streaming throughout this entire process, guys. Throughout this entire process from 2000 through all this bullshit and in 2023, and we've ridden it all the way up here, and now you're going to fuck around with trying to say Solana's going to pull back 5% or 10%. Don't fuck this up. Just please don't. I will repeat this on this live stream endlessly because I want to see people succeed. Don't fuck this up. It's that simple. Don't try to outsmart the market. You're not going to outsmart the market. You will, and sometimes the best way to learn is by making mistakes. So if you don't want to listen to this advice, then to each their own. This should be a weekly. I don't know why this is on a daily. So this is a weekly on Solana. You can see this is another bull pennant, just like we pointed out on Bitcoin. We broke into the upside. Now, what I've indicated to you guys, just because you've broken bullish on a price pattern on a chart, it doesn't mean you go vertical. It doesn't mean price is going to go like this, okay? We're going to have little pullbacks along the way. You want to see higher highs and higher lows, right? All these fundamental concepts that I constantly speak to on this channel, if you're paying attention to those key concepts, everything should start lining up to you and making sense, and you kind of fit the puzzle pieces together, and you can kind of interpret what's going on here. We're seeing higher highs and higher lows. We're breaking out of a bull pennant. If we go to the price indicators here, we broke out of descending resistance here on the RSI. Maybe not. Wait, let me see. Well, I mean, that's kind of hard. Okay, so maybe not. Maybe not. But we did break out of this resistance. Okay, so we haven't broken out of that resistance. But the RSI looks good. The MACD looks good. The stochastic RSI looks good. So what is price action actually doing right now? Well, what it's doing is it's exhibiting very healthy consolidation action on the chart. I'm trying to come up with my words there, okay? We essentially just pierced this price level here and created a new all-time high. I would call this a double top at the moment. And now what we're doing, and I can turn this into support, now what we're doing after this really strong move up, because keep in mind, we were all the way down here. We made a move from approximately 120 all the way up to 260, right? So we pulled more than a 2x, okay? So we came all the way up here, and now we're just cooling off right in this zone, and we're just waiting to break 260. This thing, again, and I'll repeat this on a lot of these charts, this thing is not going to tap you on the shoulder and say, I think I'm finished consolidating. Let's move up. It's not going to do that. You have to be positioned. If you make the decision that you're going to wait to buy a Solana at 220, you may not get it. Or 198 or 200, you may not get it. Maybe you get it, but is it worth risking 5%, 10% for 50%, 100%, 200% upside? Because I can tell you what, if you decide you don't want to listen to what I'm saying and you want to fuck around with this market and you want to mess with 5 and 10% pullbacks at this stage of the cycle, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen to you, okay? You're going to watch this thing go up and you're going to have buyer's remorse and you're going to wait for it to come down. It's going to give you a little downside action, and you're going to get greedy and you're going to want it to come down here, and it's not. And then it's just going to continue going higher. Now you're buying up at $400. That is how quickly this market is going to move. Solana will be at $400 sooner than you think, okay? Mark my words, okay? Been here long enough. I know this shit, okay? I just would not get cute with this market. I can't emphasize that enough. Who do we have in the live stream? Whew, we got a lot of people in the comments. I'm loving the engagement here. Thank you so much. Trend lines, keep in mind, DT, I'm actually going to have to disagree with you, my friend. Let me ask you something. How much confluence is there with this trend line? There's one touch here. There's 2 touches and essentially 3 main touches, right? So it's a decent amount of price confluence, but the trend line has only existed since 2018. It's not like this trend line has existed for 10 years, 15, 20 years. This trend line is 6 years. Okay, so it's pretty immature. So I don't really give a lot of credence to this trend line needing to hold. Will it provide temporary support? I think it's possible this could provide temporary support. I think ultimately it's going to break down. There's too much momentum in this market right now to make me think otherwise, unless something changes, to not think that Bitcoin is going to go higher than I originally assumed. And as such, like I said, there's going to be so much momentum coming into altcoins. DT, you are not ready. In part, I don't think I'm ready. Like, I have an expectation, but I don't think I'm ready. I think it's going to be it's going to test my ability to profit in this market. That's what it's going to do, to just be unemotional about it. I got to tell you, for somebody who's been here for as long as I have been, how do I honestly feel in this moment? Part of me feels vindicated, but I don't feel super emotional. I really don't. I honestly don't. I remember back in 2020 when we were seeing similar action in the price, I felt more emotional. And at times I think I allowed that to get the better of me. That's not happening this time. I'm very seasoned based on the experiences I've been through. I'm not feeling anything at the moment, to be honest with you. Because I know the goal at hand is to profit from this market. All of this means nothing. It means absolutely nothing if you don't capture the opportunity. Okay? I failed at capturing the opportunity in 2021. I learned from that, and I'm not going to fail in 2025. So the way I'm responding to the market this time, being different than 4 years ago, is probably a good sign that I'm on the right track. Todd, I'm going to get to your question, by the way. Thanks for sticking around. Hopefully you're still there. I know you had one more charting question. TM, welcome in. KR, man, it's been a long time, man. Good to see you on the live stream. Family is doing well. I'm doing well. Getting over a little illness here, a lot of congestion. But besides that, a little respiratory thing going on. I don't know. I have a little bit of a cough. But no, doing well. We just looked at Bitcoin. Ooh, 96. Wow, we're getting a little bit of a rejection here, huh? Okay. Well, we'll have to see, because ideally, okay, so let's talk about this candlestick. Thank you for pointing this out. We're getting a lot of volatility coming into the market. Does today's price action change my view on my expectations moving forward? No. Okay? We're getting a lot of volatility. Ideally, what do we want to see on this candle body? We want to see this thing thin out. It'd be beautiful if it turned green. We still have an hour and 20 minutes. But we want this red body to just thin out. That's all we want to see here. But this right now, if this were essentially to print the way it is, thumbs up for everyone new tuning in. Thank you so much for making time today. If it were to print the way that it looks today, this is essentially an indecision candle, right? Meaning what the price wicks are expressing to you, is, I don't know if I really want to go up or I want to go down. But I have some indecision between 103,400 and, oh wow, we went all the way down to 92,000. Guys, there's so much noise and volatility in this market. You can't allow a day's worth of price action to weed you out, else you wouldn't even be here right now. So I'm not even blinking an eye at the volatility we're seeing right now. There's too many bullish things going on. How do I get my arms jacked like yours? Well, I started working out in June of 1996, and I never even took a week off except when I had my surgery last year for the icky stuff that was in my neck. So if you work out for 28 years consecutively, it's quite possible you could develop arms like this. And you're consistent, you go to the gym every single fucking day, you don't make excuses, yeah, maybe you can do it. Everybody's telling me to look at the charts. Yes, we just looked at the volatility and I spoke to that. Not batting an eye. Somebody's going to tell me there's a news narrative to accompany it. You know, the government is selling Bitcoin or whatever the case is. Remember, guys, I've told you guys that as beautiful, we have to enjoy this moment that's going to be coming our way next year. Because as hard as it is to fathom, if you haven't been here, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you've been here for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There will be a news narrative that comes out that accompanies the chart that will lead to massive downside price action. I don't really want to spend time talking about that. I want to enjoy what we have going on right now. But there will be a news narrative to accompany that. There'll be a war. There'll be some sort of regulation that wasn't who the hell knows? But that's why we have to enjoy this moment, because there will be a horrific downturn once it's all said and done after next year. But we have a lot higher to go, guys. A lot higher to go. If you're following anything I've said with the Bitcoin dominance chart, the Ethereum chart, the Solana chart, the Bitcoin chart, if any of this stuff is making sense, we have so much higher to go. We are nowhere near the top at this point, especially in your altcoins. Nowhere near the top, guys. Coinbase has just begun listing new projects. They know what's on the horizon. Same thing with Binance. They know what's on the horizon for next year. They feel very confident clearly in that. And like I said, the listings are only going to continue to accelerate going into next year. Mark my words. We're getting the Darth Maul daily candle. Not quite logical. Not quite. Ooh. Good call, ILS85. I got filled at 92. Nice work. Very nice work. Yeah, when you have leverage in this space, which would be my guess in terms of what's going on, it can really lead to a higher degree of volatility than would otherwise exist. I personally, and I've shared this on this channel, I would not fuck around with leverage with a material amount of, if you want to throw a little bit at leverage just for fun to keep you in the market, trade a little bit and have fun with it, fine. But it should be such a minuscule portion of your portfolio that it doesn't matter if you lose it all. My hair is natural, yeah. It's funny, I don't mind talking about it. So I had a doctor's appointment today. Was it a doctor's appointment that I said this? No, I was on a work meeting. So I'll tell you a quick funny story. I was on a work meeting the other day, and it was with a third-party vendor it's a business partner that we have. And the way that I have the camera situated, it comes up to like here, so you can't see all my hair, and that's intentional, right? Because unfortunately, people are going to stereotype you if they see the full thing, and I'm self-aware enough. So one of the ladies on the call, she said, "Well, I can't see the top of your head. How do we know, you don't have big hair?" And I said, "Well, as a matter of fact," and I moved the camera and she saw my hair. And I said, "I'm 5'8", but with the hair I'm 5'10". So they found that pretty entertaining. I got everyone to laugh. And by the way, I work with super analytical people. So if I can make the super analytical people laugh, I must be doing something correct. Appreciate it, Todd. Thank you for the positive feedback. Appreciate everyone showing up today. I know it's a real exciting time in the market. I know I've been absent for 2 weeks. It's not fun traveling and not having access to my home office. I honestly hate that aspect of traveling. And then on top of it, like I said, I got sick. So, which I'm about 80%, 85%, 80% recovered from. I don't know. I don't know if they moved any crypto. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we can take a look at a few more charts, guys. We're not done live streaming yet. So I want to take a look first at ACH because Todd was kind enough to super chat me. So we're going to take a look at ACH. And as you can see right now, we're getting some nice, with the rest of the market, we're getting some nice upward momentum here. But there isn't anything that's changed in the chart. Now, what I have drawn out here, and again, this is where patience comes in if the formation does come to fruition. This is an ascending triangle. Okay. Now, typically, for all those TA gurus out there, you might want to correct me and say, well, CBG, ascending triangles are typically found at the top of a move, right? As we're moving up, we have an ascending triangle. Typically, when you get this formation, this would actually be more bearish. It should be like a bear flag. The bear flag is unrealistic. There have been plenty of charts like Bitcoin, Ethereum that had ascending channels at the bottom of a move down that played out. So especially with where the market's at, what I'm saying is this is an ascending triangle. I have the technical target up towards 26 cents. Nothing has changed. I know this has been lackluster price action, but I do firmly believe with the third confluence that comes up here, which will more than likely coincide with massive moves in the rest of the market, once you see ACH up towards this 4.4 cent area, this thing has the potential to easily make a 50% move plus up towards 7 cents and then beyond. There's really a big gap here, in my opinion. You could put another area right at about 8.5 cents, but there's a decent gap between 7 cents and 11 cents. So once we break 4.4, this thing could really start moving. RSI still looks great. MACD's picking up. Stochastic RSI, yeah, just got to be patient with this one, Todd. We just need to break 4.4 cents. I did want to take a look at XRP, and I'm going to give my candid thoughts on this because this has been a topic of hot debate. So even if you're not an XRP person, I think it would behoove you to still listen to my opinion on the chart and my opinion on price action. Take it for what it's worth if you value my opinion. Again, just take it from someone who's been here for a long time. I'm going to be more transparent than I need to be. I was talking to a family member, and I left this person a audio message. And I said to this person, you have been given a gift. Now, this was when XRP was up at 270. I think it was 274. Now we're down at 230. I said, in my opinion, you've been given a gift. Now, we're supposed to connect later this week. I'll leave it up to him to call me. But XRP just literally pulled like a 6x in 4 weeks. And the reason I'm viewing it as a gift is because me evaluating the chart and being logical about it, if the market gets more euphoric than I originally believed, I could see XRP hitting as high as $7. I could see that. My targets have been up towards $5 and not beyond. But I could see $7 if the market really starts to get even more frothy. Now, let's say we hit $7, and I'm fairly accurate with that call. From 270 up to $3, that's a 3x. That's actually less than a 3x, just shy of a 3x. There are so many assets you could rotate these proceeds into that I feel confident in saying will minimum 10x. So you're talking about if you made $10,000, the potential, if you're able to capture the pico top of turning it into $30,000, in my opinion. Versus, I think you have the potential of taking the 10 and maybe turning it into 80, 90, or $100,000, right? This asset has had a tremendous move up, but it also has a history of having what people refer to as pump and dumps. I want everyone to be very cautious here because while I believe XRP is going to create a new all-time high, XRP is going to create a new all-time high. If you don't exercise logic and common sense, you're going to believe XRP's flipping Ethereum. You're going to believe that percentage gains will be similar to back here in 2017. Markets were different. The asset was valued differently. We're not going to see this thing up at $20 plus next year. I do not see that happening whatsoever. I would be extremely surprised if it hit $10. Extremely surprised. Again, $7 is my pico top. But yeah, I believe that you've been given a gift here to rotate some of these funds into things that have a stronger narrative, whether it's a meme coin, whether it's Ethereum. I think Ethereum from current price levels, what's it at, 3,800? I think it's very possible Ethereum could outperform XRP at this point. So I would be very cautious here. And again, for anyone, two other things I want to comment on this chart. We'll take a look at HBAR too, because HBAR's had a hell of a run. We'll talk about that. Two things, and I had posted this out on Twitter recently. For the individuals out there who are, what is the word? Coping. They're coping with the run here. I don't understand why you're coping with anything. you should be happy for anyone who holds a material amount of XRP and they've just, you know, and you've been here through, I mean, this has been bullshit price action, guys. Come on, it's been so lackluster. This has done diddly shit for the past 5 years, okay? It's done diddly shit for the past, like, 5 years, 6 years, I don't know. So for anyone who's been holding and round trip this thing and now they're up past $2, I am genuinely happy for those people who hold a substantial amount of XRP, and you should be too. Anyone who's been battle tested and in this market for a while and they're making a profit on something they're invested in, you should be happy for them. You should not look for excuses or reasons why just be happy for people. And the other thing I would say is what I'm also seeing, which isn't surprising, it's totally expected. You now have YouTube content creators and you have people on X talking about XRP is going to flip Ethereum and XRP is heading to $20 plus. Guys, really temper your expectations. Yes, I think XRP is going to hit a new all-time high, but we still haven't even broken all-time highs. Can we this is a really old school expression. I'm going to date myself. Can we take a chill pill? Chill pill. That was popular in the 90s. Can we take a chill pill, allow XRP to start pushing up towards $3, $4, $5? Then we can have a conversation about where's the market at? Where's XRP at? Could I be completely wrong and XRP is going to like $10, $15, $20? We can have a conversation then. But let's allow the market to mature a little bit because I'm skeptical that the prices will get that high, okay? So it would behoove you in this market, you will do better for yourself if you recognize that you and I are big boys and big girls. We're all adults here, hopefully. And we're taking money that we've worked hard for and we're investing it in assets that we have no affiliation with. Hopefully every single person here has done their due diligence to invest with sound reasoning, right? There's a thesis there. So if you're investing your money just like anything else you would invest it in, you want to make a profit off of it. You don't owe a cult community anything. You don't owe the YouTube content creator who's constantly, relentlessly talking about XRP flipping switches and changing the world. You don't owe any of these people anything. You owe yourself and you owe your family financial security. That's what you owe. That's what your responsibility is. So just keep that in mind. We're all adults. We should all be adults and big boys and big girls here. But some people in this space act like children. Nobody here. But some people in this space really show their age and I think act like children. Okay. It's okay to be bullish on an asset and sell it. So the big thing with HBAR that we wanted to see was getting past here, this 15-cent area. And in particular, I have this area at 21.4 as a thicker red area of resistance for a reason. This was a main area for me to clear. Let's fucking go HBARbarians. Hell of a run from 4.3 cents all the way. We pulled like a 10x. And again, one of the other things I would keep in mind, and I had posted this out, if you have older coins like HBAR pulling a 10x, 9x, whatever, you have hated coins like XRP pulling a 6x in 4 weeks, what do you really think the hottest narratives are going to do next year? Again, you're not ready for it. And in part, I'm not ready for it either. You're going to open up your wallets, you're going to look at your balance, and you're going to be like, the fuck? Like, I know CBG talked about this, and I had some sort of an idea that the market was going to get euphoric, but this is batshit crazy. My account was, $20,000 2 weeks ago, and now it's like $60,000. What the hell is going on? That's how quickly this market moves. But HBAR, man, HBAR is looking sexy AF. The next major area we want to clear is this 41 cents. 41 cents? Is it 41 cents? I would say it's more of a zone. Let me update this here. I would say, I don't know why I have that drawn there. I would say 41. Let me see what I got here. Is this 40.8 to, what is this? Can't see. All right, let's round this off. 43.7 to, it looks like 40.8 cents. Okay. So this double black line, okay, and typically I don't put areas of price confluence in black. It's typically red and green, but like a Christmas tree. Or like the holiday, you know, red and green. It's very, very, very festive. Once we clear this area here between 41 and 43 cents, I think a new all-time high is going to be coming relatively shortly. So, but again, if you're an HBAR, if you're a fellow HBARbarian, consolidating in this range would be very healthy. This thing can pull all the way back to 21 cents. I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. I really don't want to come down to here at 15 cents. We can wick down here. That's fine. But I want all my candle bodies to be above 21 cents. That's where I want them to stay. So it's looking good, though. Guys, hard to believe. We've been on the live stream for over an hour. Let's see who else we have in the live stream. TM, let me just save you all the energy on your XRP chats. I think you're newer to the channel. And so let me give you a little bit of history. And I mean this with no disrespect. When I first started off doing these live streams, I had a, you know what? I'm going to prove it to you. Give me 1 second. If I can get it out of my closet. Jesus, it's tight in there. That's what she said. Ugh. Oh, this is a pain in the ass. Son of a bitch. Ugh. Alright. Here we go. Now hopefully this doesn't break. Alright guys, this was a pain in the ass. This was a pain in the ass to get out of my closet, so I hope everybody appreciates this. Does everyone remember this? Does everyone remember this? I still have it. Now, this sign was hung up on this wall, and it was right next to an older Bitcoin portrait that I had up there. Why did I do that? There were two reasons. The main reason was to signal to everyone coming on the live stream or on my videos that I do not believe in tribalism and I do not believe in maximalists. I don't care what project I am associated with. I am not a tribal person. I think maximalism is ignorance. Whether you're a BTC maxi, an XRP maxi, I think you're moronic for thinking that way. There are different assets for different purposes. The second reason is I did a lot of deep diving on Ripple and XRP, okay? I used to be more heavily invested in that project. And I've done a lot of due diligence, so I don't need any homework on Swift or anything like that. Been here for a while, my friend. Been here for a while, believe me. So I don't need any pointers there. Is what it is, Juan. Alrighty. Some people love HBAR. Good to see that. Philly Faithful, man. I haven't seen you in here for I haven't seen you in here for a while. Nice to see you on the live stream. Once in a while, I'll see you comment on the YouTube videos, which I do appreciate. Anytime you guys, by the way, anytime you guys take time out of your day to comment on a published video, which I haven't done in God knows how long, or a live stream, I really do appreciate it. I don't know if it's like this keyboard warrior mentality or people are just being people and they sometimes forget the human element of it. But I really am just a normal person that comes out here and shares information as I see it. Based on my education, I attempt to share it with you. And for those who appreciate it, thank you. You always get those trolls out there, just like really mean people who, I don't know if they're just not happy with their own life or whatever the case is. But you have to have a thick skin to be in this space. I'll say that. I took too few chill pills throughout my entire 20s. Nice, nice. Okay, Steve with a $20 super chat. Cripes. Super chats are never expected, but always appreciated. Thank you so much. Really means a lot to me because, again, I mean, this channel is so small, guys. I don't put as much work into the channel as I otherwise could to try to grow it. I spend what time I have on it while trying to maintain a balance on my life, so I do appreciate the engagement. CBG, just wanted to say thank you for your value-added content. Why, thank you, kind sir. On this channel and X, I respect and appreciate you taking the time to educate those in need of guidance in this market like myself. Thank you, and I'm glad that comes through because I'll never profess to be an expert or know everything, but I feel confident in saying that I am very seasoned, I'm very experienced, I do feel I'm very well educated, and I feel like I can be a valuable resource. Ultimately, the ownership is on you to do your own due diligence. And unlike probably most content creators, I encourage you to go out there and seek out other content creators. I from time to time, I've had people on my channel. I've spoken about other great technical analysts in this space. My analysis is not the be-all, end-all. It's just one view. Somebody else could have a completely different view. I told you guys with Caspa, 2 technicians who I respect are not crazy about that chart. Now, I disagree with them. But disagreement is healthy. We should be able to disagree, and you should get differing opinions and do your own research. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Oh, man. A lot of comments. It's kind of hard to keep up. This is the first live stream in a really long time. It's hard to keep up with all the comments. This is nice. Can I chart the graph? Yeah, I think we'll have time. When all that money going to rotate to smaller market caps? I think you're going to see that in the first quarter of next year. Track, welcome in. Good to see you. Oh, God. Oh, my gosh. You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion. I'll just leave it at that. I did not see Jasmy, although I know Kyle Dupes has been talking about a Jasmy trade on. He's the only guy I watch on Crypto Banter. I like the way he does analysis. I don't know. It's just something about the way he speaks to things. I think he does a great job. So I try to catch him when I can. I did not see Jasmy. Let's what is it up? 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%? What is it? 40%, 43%. Nice. Well, congratulations to anyone who got in on that trade or is invested in it. I think one of my buddies, Hanky, if you're out there, Hanky, he asked me about Jasmy a while ago. I think he owns himself some Jasmy. Yup, we took a look at BTC earlier. You can rewind and go back to the live stream. There's no crash going on. Wouldn't use those words. If you want to see a true crash, you'll experience that in 2026. Let's enjoy the ride, guys. This isn't a crash. I own MOG coin. Anonymous Don, can you please give your opinion on MOG? I think MOG has a beautiful chart. I own MOG. I've shared with you guys that I dipped my toe in the water a couple months ago. I don't understand. I mean, you look at this. How can you not like this chart? I mean, you got an ascending triangle here. You have this rounding. Look at this rounding bottom. It results in an explosive move. Then we have price coiling up, and this thing just looks like it wants to explode higher. So very bullish. It got a Coinbase listing. What's great about the Coinbase listing, there's going to be even more eyes on it. And the crazy thing, as crazy as this sounds, there's going to be people buying tokens wanting that next meme coin to get filthy rich, like a Shiba Inu or Doge. And I think one of the attractive elements about MOG, beyond the community itself and the meme, is the token's USD value. A lot of people, and I know, I'm just sharing facts with you, a lot of people deem something to be cheap based on the USD value. It doesn't matter what the market cap is. It doesn't matter how much dilution there is. They just look at something being a penny or half a penny and saying, oh my God, I'm going to buy that. Bitcoin's way too expensive. Yeah. All right, guys, let's lay off the XRP talk. Jesus, this is such a hot topic. Let's all just love one another, all right? Okay, let's get into the graft. Some of you guys are real funny. Whoop. I had a question on GRT. Oh God. All right. So this is one I was considering establishing a position in soon, and it's having a nice run here. Now, you'll note with the huge run we had in HBAR, right? This huge run we had in HBAR, we took out this wick up here at 18 cents by a mile. Look what's going on with GRT right now. We came all the way up to 49 and a half cents. We're all the way down here at 34, so we're lagging. We're waiting for that huge move to push us up towards 80 cent area, in my opinion. It'll be interesting once we get up there. Now, what you can do, beyond areas of price confluence that I have marked out here, we can take a look at fib retracement levels. Okay, we measure from the top to the bottom. Major fib retracement levels. And we can ask ourselves where we're at in the trend. We're not even up at the 0.618, which is that golden pocket area. That's a key level. When we're looking at Fibonacci retracement levels, in this case, that 0.618 is a key area, just like the 0.786 and the 0.702. So anything between 64 cents and $1.26 is really that. This is this next main area that I'm targeting once things begin to pick up. Again, a lot of these tokens are really going to start to gain momentum once Ethereum continues to push up and break all-time highs. I'll give you another one I think some people are sleeping on that I think just based on the chart, I'm in a sizable position, trade position. LRC. We had this bullish divergence. It's playing out. We made a move from 11 cents all the way up to 33. So we pulled a 3x. Nothing to sneeze at, but these are my next targets I'm awaiting. 55 cents to 92.5, and then from 92.5 all the way up to $1.60. So, when we zoom out and we look at this chart, again, it doesn't matter what you think about the project. I'm just looking at the chart. It's available on Coinbase. It's a cheap token. And the chart looks good. The chart looks good in my opinion, and I think we will come up towards all-time highs at the very least. I could see this thing topping out bare minimum $3. So you're talking about a 10x. You're at least talking about a 10x from here. So we'll have to see how that plays out. What else we got? We're running at an hour and 18 minutes. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep going here, guys. I need to make some dinner here. Let me see here. I'm sorry if I missed anything. I don't think I missed any comments. Yeah, I'm not going to have time to chart all these, unfortunately, guys. I don't have any strong opinions on Ethereum. I know it's another layer 1. I know it gets discussed with Caspa. I don't have any strong opinions on it. We can take a look at the chart quick. Is it having a good day today? It was on my watch list. But I don't have any at the moment. Let's put it on a weekly. Let's get off this proprietary indicator. I mean, if this is all the price data, this isn't too sexy. I was in a trade at some point on Mexi when Mexi was still available. Yeah, this isn't really looking too sexy. We have a higher low coming in here. And I think what I would do... Yeah, so for Ethereum, what you really want to see here... Okay. For Ethereum, really what you want to see here is a break of that 210 to 220 area. We're sitting at about $1.87. Once we clear that area, then they're just, essentially what we're doing is we're erasing all of this price action. It's in the past. Once we confirm it as support, that area is support, break above and confirm it as support. And then we just have to contend with this price data. There's not a lot of price data. So it makes it easier to create new all-time highs once we can clear this major area price confluence. I would say right around 220. Once you start to see candle bodies closing above 220, signs are pointing up. We'll be in good shape. Correct. Yep. Yeah, you're right on Panama cards. Yeah, get above 220. Get above 220 and you're looking good because, if you can visualize it with me on the chart right now, let's get this off. If you visualize it on the chart, essentially what you would want to see is let's push somewhere up here. Let's reclaim this as support. And then let's just make one final push up to start breaking towards new all-time highs, right? More than likely, you're not going to see that until the first quarter of next year. And again, we'll have to see how December shapes up. I mean, I'm anticipating, I'll share with you what I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating Ethereum to start to steal the spotlight. I think Ethereum and Solana might start to trade days and have similar days, but I think they're really going to start to gain momentum. I think Solana will reflip XRP. And then in that first quarter of next year is where you're really going to start to see a lot of the smaller and mid caps begin to really pop off. Meme coins, layer ones, Caspa, all that stuff. So, yeah. So I think that's going to do it for today. Really strong turnout for today for this channel. I do appreciate it. I appreciate all the engagement, a lot of comments here, a lot of thoughts. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. It feels nice to be back. And I should be back. Well, I will be back on Monday, but we'll see. We'll see how the weekend goes. Maybe I'll be back on Sunday if something extremely positive happens. If not, I'll be back on Monday. But thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, let's all spread awareness. Let's enjoy the price movement and let's carry the education forward. Take care, everybody.